Well, guys, man, the Cleveland Browns, man, they have a serious issue at this quarterback position, man. But it seems like the Cleveland media won't address this. But it seems like the Cleveland media always bring up the quarterback situation when it's surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. It's that little movement that the Cleveland media have and these insiders have. Anybody but Shedeur. You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Well, today, guys, we got to talk about it, man. We have to talk about what's going on in Cleveland on the off season. And there's one particular quarterback that hasn't showed his face. Is this a concern for the Cleveland Browns? Or we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sap, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, you know I got something to say, man. Well, the Cleveland Browns continue to make headlines regarding their quarterback situation and the guys that are in the quarterback room with Cleveland. Now, we've covered all season long because it's been a hot topic when it comes to this quarterback situation surrounding around the Cleveland Browns. And you know the Cleveland media and these Cleveland insiders, their movement is everybody but Shedeur. The whole talk of the offseason leading up to free agency, leading up to this draft is who are they going to get at quarterback to replace Shedeur Sanders. Now, ever since Todd Monken has become the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, a lot of change has came with that. Now, we've seen in the past, in 2025, we saw what things was unfolding under Kevin Stefanski. A lot of people coming out saying the way that Kevin Stefanski was sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, didn't want to give Shedeur Sanders a chance. And in that 2025 draft, they passed up on Shedeur Sanders and they took in the third round Dillon Gabriel out of Oregon. So the crazy thing about it is Dillon Gabriel was a third round pick. Shedeur Sanders was a fifth round pick at 144th. I don't treat Shedeur Sanders as a fifth round pick because I know he's a first round talent. And it seems that everybody, when Dillon Gabriel was selected, everybody thought, the Cleveland media and the insiders thought that Dillon Gabriel was that guy that was going to lead this franchise to greener pastures. But we saw that it didn't work. And Dillon Gabriel started after Joe Flacco was traded. In the first couple games of the season, he was traded to the Cincinnati Bengals to replace Joe Burrows because Joe Burrows was on injury reserve. And what happened? Dillon Gabriel was given the keys to start for the Cleveland Browns. They chose Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders to be the starter. We see that didn't work out well. But everybody went on record, the Cleveland media, some names, we know who we talking about, went on and said that Dillon Gabriel was head and shoulders better than Shedeur Sanders. We saw some of the mainstream media outlets, some of these ex-quarterbacks such as Dan Orlowski said that Dillon Gabriel has put better tape out on film than Shedeur Sanders. And we saw what Shedeur Sanders did in his first preseason game when he started against the Carolina Panthers. He showed out and he balled out. And this is what happens. Dillon Gabriel gets knocked out against the Baltimore Ravens. Shedeur Sanders comes in after the concussion protocol. And after that, we haven't heard from Dillon Gabriel. No interviews, nobody talks about him. And all of a sudden, Shedeur gets the keys for the last 7 games, wins 3 out of the last 7, goes on a 2-game win streak to close out the season against division opponents, Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now that Todd Monken has taken over, Todd Monken has made it abundantly clear that we're going on what we've seen in the past and how we left off the season. So that letting people know that Shedeur Sanders will probably be quarterback 1. Now the talks of Deshaun Watson have heated up. Now the other quarterback, Dillon Gabriel. Where is Dillon Gabriel? Dillon Gabriel is missing in action, and don't nobody want to talk about it. They always want to talk about things about Shedeur Sanders, bringing Shedeur Sanders' replacement in and undermining what Shedeur Sanders brings to the table. But then I got to thinking, when they keep talking about drafting a quarterback, is it because they know that Dillon Gabriel is not going to cut it? Dillon Gabriel probably won't be on this roster. There's been trade rumors of Dillon Gabriel going to Atlanta with Kevin Stefanski. Is Dillon Gabriel holding a grudge against the Cleveland Browns because Kevin Stefanski's not there and Kevin Stefanski was a Dillon Gabriel guy? Dillon Gabriel has not shown up in the offseason. He hasn't been around the facility. Now head coach Todd Monken has called Dillon Gabriel out because he's MIA. And is this the reason why the Cleveland media keep talking about drafting a quarterback in the draft to replace Dillon Gabriel? Because you know you're going to need them 3 quarterbacks in the room, because right now all you have is Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dillon Gabriel. Now you got to get Dillon Gabriel out of there because his actions are speaking like he don't want to be around. So is that the reason why they so highly coveted on Ty Simpson, getting him in as a prospect and grooming him and getting Dillon Gabriel out the door? But let's take a look at this article that was written by Yahoo, and Todd Monken is not pleased with the fact that Dillon Gabriel hasn't shown up around the facility. Let's take a look. Cleveland Browns head coach slams Dillon Gabriel for going MIA. That's huge. The Cleveland Browns continue to make headlines regarding their quarterback carousel. The Browns have Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dillon Gabriel all on the roster. There's also talks that they may draft Ty Simpson out of Alabama. While management and coaches seem to praise both Sanders and Watson, the name Gabriel is not mentioned often. He has been noticeably absent recently, and the Browns coaching staff is speaking out on it. Head coach Todd Monken said to the reporters this week, he's seen Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson so far this offseason, but hasn't seen Dillon Gabriel at all. And then you see the article that Mary Kay said, Browns head coach Todd Monken reveals how much FaceTime he's had this offseason with each of the 3 quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel. Todd Monken reveals how much FaceTimes he's had in the offseason. Now check this out. That does not bode well for him not to make an appearance at the Browns facility. Not once since Todd Monken become the head coach, which may explain why the Browns are thinking about drafting another quarterback. See, these articles are written, and these are the same things I've been telling you guys about Dillon Gabriel. He's an afterthought. Nobody talks about them. Is this the reason why the Cleveland media might want to spin that narrative and slander Shedeur, but actually they're thinking about, hey, we got to get Dillon Gabriel out of here because we know what Dillon Gabriel brings to the table. He don't bring much to the table. Then he said, like Sanders, Gabriel started some games for the team last season, and like Sanders, didn't blow many people away with his play. But unlike Sanders, who's appeared to want to get better and win the starting position, Dillon Gabriel's absence seems to come off as uncaring, as if he knows he's the odd man out, and it sounds like he is. Monken and the organization seem to be focused on players who are there and not those who aren't. So when I tell you guys, I told you guys before, when Todd Monken came out and made that statement about not divvying up the reps, he was shooting shots at Dillon Gabriel, telling people that Dillon Gabriel is not going to be the one getting reps. This is clearly between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Now, there's been some video footage surfacing around as of late tonight that Deshaun Watson is out there throwing with Jerry Jeudy. Now, we've seen the video floating around of Shedeur Sanders and Jerry Jeudy getting in some work and the pictures put up. But now Deshaun Watson is trying to gear up, and Deshaun Watson is trying to make a viable push at trying to be QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. But like Todd Monken has been telling you guys, he don't have to come out and say it that Shedeur Sanders is the starter, but he has told you in so many ways. Yeah, it's going to be a quarterback competition, but I think Todd Monken knows who his guy is. And he has shut the reporters down over and over again because they keep on asking him the same question, but they keep rephrasing it different, and he gives you that same answer. But the Cleveland Browns have a quarterback issue, man. And it's a serious problem because Dillon Gabriel is MIA. And is that the reason why the Cleveland Browns might want to draft a quarterback to replace Dillon Gabriel, not Shedeur Sanders? Think about that. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.